So here's a low back series. We'll start on the ground doing some activation exercises. We have full-length videos for each exercise on the YouTube channel, but here I'm just gonna summarize them and kind of stitch everything together. So the three exercises we're gonna do are meant to just activate your abdominals and improve your control. So first we'll do some lower ab marching. So you're gonna envision pulling your pants up with your stomach. So you are drawing in, you are pulling in, but you're not holding your breath. You're not taking a big inhale. So instead you're just kind of rolling backwards so your back is flat. I'm gonna put my hands on my pelvis, my hips, to monitor. There shouldn't be any side-to-side movement. And then I'm gonna lift and extend and return and back, and lift and extend and return back. So you do about a dozen pairs of these, and then once you're done, you'll go to the next exercise, which is bent knee fall out. So we just got done working on your control by extending like this. Now we're gonna work on a rotation exercise. Just keep in mind before we go to the bent knee fall out that the further you extend, the more it's gonna pull on you. So you have to work really hard to keep your abdominals engaged while you're extending your leg. Okay. So you're gonna switch, come back, and move on to the next exercise. So then you're gonna rotate one hip while staying engaged here and try not to allow yourself to rotate like that. So just the leg should go and nothing else. So if you see this view here, we shouldn't see this happen. Instead, we should just see just that hip rotate. That's it. So you'll continue with this for 12 to 15 before you move on to the glute bridge. This will be the final activation exercise. Same set position. I'm gonna push through a flat foot and try to drive my belly button to the ceiling. So here, I should be not landing in this position, in this arched position. Instead, I should be landing in that same position that we've been working on. You're gonna go up, should feel your glutes doing the majority of the work with your abdominals holding this position. Shouldn't drop that way or shouldn't overarch either position. You can do one set or even two sets of this. Again, going to 12 to 15 repetitions each. After you're done with this, one or two sets, you'll move on to the next series. So now you're gonna do some quadruped rocking. So quadruped, all fours, hands and knees. And now you really wanna work on first, before you do any movement, before we rock back and forth, you wanna work on this positioning. So a lot of people, when they go to fix their lower back position here, what they end up doing is this. So you start changing your upper back, your thoracic position, in order to change your low back position. So use a mirror. I've been doing this long enough to where I've figured out how to do it, so I can just move my pelvis and my low back by pulling in my abdominals, creating tension here, without having to do this. So make sure you use the mirror to get your mechanics right. Then, using either the floor or something to make sure you're evenly aligned, rather than like being here or having your legs turned out like that, okay? So once you're confident about your position, both your hand placement and also your back position, you're just gonna rock backwards like you're gonna squat or like you're squatting, and then learning how to use tension in your abs to not let your back move, and instead just moving in your hips, back and forth like this. Instead of like this or like this as you come back and forth, now my back is doing that work. Okay, so once you're done with this, then we'll move on to the squat exercise as the second exercise in this series. So for the squat, now you want to replicate those same mechanics. You're creating tension in your abdominals. You're not letting your butt hang out, but instead you're keeping your abs engaged. And now you're just gonna go up, down and up. Just in that same position, still drawing in. Again, trying to stay symmetrical, not allowing yourself to lean to one side or the other. That's the benefit of the mirror. But instead, just creating that tension coming up and driving your hips through, just like we did with the bridge, not allowing your butt to hang out like that. Again, you gotta pull your pants up with your abdominals. Once you do, let's say 2 sets of this, Then you'll move on to the final series. So for this final series, we're just gonna do some more abdominal exercises. You can make this a workout in and of itself. Do each exercise, you know, have a running clock, do each exercise for 30 to 60 seconds, depending on how advanced you are. And also, you wanna make sure that you are able to hold that correct position, obviously, before you start adding more time. First thing is we'll do the bird dog. A lot of people count with this exercise rather than doing time. So again, I'm gonna get in that neutral position, and then I'm gonna extend one arm and one leg, just like that. What you don't wanna do is let your back go as you move your arms and legs. Again, as you extend that leg, you should feel your abs really having to work to not let your back arch. Okay, so repeat that. Maybe do a dozen or so of those, or again, you can run that clock for 30 seconds or so. After you finish with that, let's go right into a plank. So same thing, I'm not gonna let my butt hang out, and I'm also not gonna pull my thoracic spine up like that. But instead, I'm gonna try to stay flat and keep my pants pulled up, so to speak. Hold this position. Once you're done with that, let's go into side planks. You can do one of two variations. One, you can do the traditional side plank like this, or you can do dips like that, coming in and out of that position. Obviously, once you're done, you'll flip over and do the other side before returning to the first exercise, the bird dog, or whether you go back to the plank itself. Once you're more advanced with the plank, we'll do an up down. So now you're in this position, and now you're gonna go down to your forearms and back up to your hands. So Abby's gonna stand up and show you an above view so you can really see what I'm talking about with having a good alignment. So what you don't wanna do is this. See how my butt really shakes as I go. Instead, you wanna be really stable and work to not let your back move at all. What you can also do is like put a book on your back, and that'll, you wanna be competent enough at this exercise that it doesn't fall off. If you're gonna make this an activation before your workout, do 1 to 2 sets. If you wanna make this the workout in and of itself, then you can do 3 to 5 sets. And then that should give you a well-rounded beginning to stabilizing your low back.